And all of that information comes from the lab manual. So how would you test olfactory nerve, cranial nerve 1? What would you ask the subject to do to test that nerve, to see if it's working?
Garlic.
Put some scent under their nose. Do you smell it?
Do you smell this?
They're doing sense test today, the smell test, all the dogs are. Yeah.
And how about vision? How would you test vision?
Can you see this?
Can you see this? How would you test oculomotor?
Can you move your
Can you
eyes?
move your eyes?
Right.
Yeah.
So you actually have somebody track your movements. All right, follow me this way, this way. So you can test, can they move their eye laterally? Can they move it medially? Can they rotate up? Can they rotate down? Right? Because if they can do some of those but not all of those things, it may be just trochlear. So just superior oblique that's affected, or maybe just abducens, so just maybe abduction of the eye from the lateral rectus. So you can kind of figure it out that way.
On the lab exam, will we have to know, like, for example, which way the oculomotor moves the eye versus like the abducens, which only abducts the eye?
No.
I mean, you should anyway. That came out of chapter 9 and 10. I would expect to. Yeah.
So we can't just
So
say
for like-
moves eye for oculomotor, for example. We can't just say moves eye. We have to pick which direction it moves it.
Не будемо.
And then how about the motor? The motor nerve fibers of trigeminal. Let's listen to.
Mimics.
And then we covered this back in chapter 9 and 10. Chewing muscles. Yeah, so something simple like that. Innervates chewing muscles. Provides sensory input from face. That should be good.
Dorsal column, medial. This is, I think that's where we left off.
That's my favorite one. All right, so we've got 2, 3, and this is 4, 5. I'm going to go out of order now. Nope. No. Keep going though.
12. Okay, can you show it?
12's in front of the
Yeah.
olive.
Okay, yeah. Okay, 12.
And then behind the olive on the top is 9. And then behind the olive on the bottom is
That's the 10.
10. And then below the olive, running down the sides of the medulla, 11, right? But then you come back up to the front of the olive for 12. So 9, 10, 11 in a row, and then come back up for 12. And then also in a row is 6, 7, 8. And some models show 8 as 1, others show it as 2. So you see these two side by side?
Yeah.
That is the vestibulocochlear nerve. And then this third one, that's facial. And the reason they're separating them is because vestibulocochlear is actually 2 nerves bundled together. They're completely separate from their origin because they originate in different places, but then they quickly come together, fuse, and then as a bundle run all the way to the brainstem. And that's kind of what they want to show you, that there's actually 2 bundled together there. So
Some they are distinct, some model it's not that distinct.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So one is the cochlear nerve, and the other is the vestibular nerve. But we call it vestibulocochlear cranial nerve 8.
So one of those is solely responsible for the hearing, and the other one's for
Right.
balance and
Right.
equilibrium. Oh,
Exactly. So they're both coming from the ear, but from different places. One's coming from the vestibular apparatus, the other one's coming from the cochlea.
So it's vestibular, for the vestibulocochlear, what would we say for function? Both of those?
Yeah. Or maybe I would ask, okay, give me the 2 nerves that form cranial nerve 8 and what each of those does. But yeah, one is sense of balance, equilibrium, and the other's hearing.
Yeah, vestibular is sense of balance and the ocular is for hearing.
So when you have vertigo, what part is affected by it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But why? Like, what goes on with it that you get vertigo?
You'd have to learn about the little crystals
Yes.
and
That's what I was
and the
about to
hairs,
say.
and it's all covered in chapter
It's
15. We just don't get to it.
Ciliate crystal something.
Yeah.
That crystal.
And I haven't even looked at it in a long time myself because I haven't taught it
And
in a
it
long time.
dissolves on its own. It forms and dissolves.
Yeah.
And then the symptom goes off.
So yeah, my mother-in-law has permanent vertigo. She has to take Allegra, allergy medicine. So
She used to take.
some inflammation is involved. So from this side, you've got 8. And then it comes all the way around there. I think we've hit this
So
one
then
pretty good.
8, 9, and 10 goes down in the line. 9, 10, 11.
So 6,
9,
7, 8 across,
And then
9,
9,
10,
10,
11
11.
down.
And then you go back up for 12.
12.
Okay.
Correct.
That's how I remember that.
Yes.